it's one of those moments where you on stage and everybody's looking at you. Your main objective is like, make this person who I don't know, who I just met for the first time, laugh. You guys ready to make some noise? Once you up there for the first 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes and you're not hearing no laughter, now it's like the room is quiet. I'd rather get booed. Your eyes get big, you get cotton mouth. It was all that was going through my head at that time. I want to be remembered as not just a comedian, but as someone from North Miami who was able to be a figure. There's other ways out too. You can graduate, you can be a cop, if you want to be a comedian. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be that negative yourself and stuff like that. I just want people to remember me as a person like who found an alternative way out.
Meet Rick E., also known as Miami Got Jokes.
Didn't I just tell you that you was scammers?
A North Miami-born comedian using sharp humor and local culture to turn real moments into viral connection. From sold-out shows to iconic skits, he uplifts his community through laughter.
Imagine with me, you get the opportunity to open up for Dave Chappelle. Big night, we at the Miami Arena. Do you have a specific joke you would open with that night, or how would you get prepared for it?
I'd be nervous as hell, man, because I know that's a big crowd. But I'll give like a complete different style of joke telling. Like Chappelle's like that storytelling type of thing. I'd give him like straight like joke, laid back jokes. That's how I would think, like from my perspective.
Welcome to Drew's Legacy Enterprise Productions, where story connects generations. A conversation with a pioneer. A segment that celebrates the life and journey of North Miami Senior High School pioneers by bridging the past and the present to inspire the future. Behind every name, there is a story. Miami Got Jokes. Born in Miami, an alumnus from class of 2009. He uses his sense of humor and Miami culture to create a platform that connects people. He uses his sense of humor to highlight real life, real people, real life moments, to highlight Miami culture. It is with great pleasure to have him here. You have seen him at the Improvs, you have seen him at the games, and you have seen him on social media. Miami Got Jokes. My brother, welcome.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, what's going on, y'all boys? Hey, this boy Miami Got Jokes, man. I appreciate y'all boys having me, man. Let's do it, man. I like that.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Right. Hey, welcome to our platform. So, first of all, last time you seen your ex, she was still struggling. Is she still struggling today?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's what I like. That's what I like, man.
Listen, how did you get named Miami Got Jokes?
It was a name that I came up with myself. You know, if you get into this comedy world, you know that, you know, places like New York, Chicago, LA, you know, those are known as comedy cities.
Of course.
You know, and well, when a lot of famous comedians come down here to Miami and they perform at the Improv or certain venues down here, they know it's hard. And people don't really respect comedians down here. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, you know, yeah, those places got comedians, but Miami got jokes too. You know what I'm saying? Miami's funny too. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
So it's like, I just ran with that name, and just ever since then, it's just been working for me.
How long you been doing comedy?
Ooh, I've been doing comedy since I think like 2019. 2019 I've been doing comedy. Yeah. 2018, 2019.
What would you say inspired you to start doing comedy?
You know, I say this story a lot, but my homeboy Gamma 305 is the one that inspired me. You know, like I always say, I was in like a bad relationship.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? I was going through a bad relationship. So it's like, I was in one of those times where it's like, I didn't know what to do with my life. You know what I mean? I didn't know if I wanted to go to school, get a serious job, or it was just one of those points in my life where I was just stagnant.
Right.
So my homeboy Gamma said, you know what, man, let's do comedy. And then my mom like, you know, I don't think that's something I want to do right now, especially with what I'm dealing with. But he took me to one of these open mics, and I seen him on stage. I was like, man, that's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm rocking with it. And I was telling myself, you know what? Let me try it. So I got on stage, and my first time on stage, like I did terrible. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It was bad, bro. And my ex was there watching. And, you know, I told myself, I was like, you know what? I could rock with this. You know what I'm saying? I knew I got some talent. So I'm gonna stick to it and get better. And then, you know, Gama being by my side and really being that battery in my back and really motivate me. And ever since then, we've been taking off. We've been doing shows together, skits together, all that. So, like I always say, shout out to Gama. He's the one that really, you know, he don't really get a lot of the media publicity because he's always in the background, but he's the main reason why my name is as big as it is today.
The time frame that you got on stage for the first time, right? And you said that you did bad. How did you take, like, how was it on stage for you for the first time? Like, how were you feeling? And after, like, when you say you feel bad, what were you feeling as far as, like, man, that actual emotion in itself?
Bro, I couldn't breathe, bro. Because it's like, it's one of those moments where you're on stage and everybody's looking at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how when people say you're doing comedy, just think of it as you just talk to your homeboys or whatever like that. It's different because your homeboys got some type of bias towards you. But when you're doing it in front of people you don't know, like your main objective is like make this person who I don't know, who I just met for the first time, laugh. So it's like once you up there for the first 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes and you're not hearing no laughter, now it's like
the room goes quiet.
The room is quiet. I'd rather get booed. When it's quiet, it's like, damn, what do I do next? And your eyes get big. And then it's like, when you talk in a mic a lot, you get cotton mouth. Your mouth get dry. So
Facts.
it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So yeah, but you thinking about all that. And then like in today's world now, it's like, if you on the stage, you're not funny, like they putting you on the gram now.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all that was going through my head at that time.
Rick, so walk us through the timeline. You did your first performance. Was that before you hit the internet or that was during that time?
I hit the stage before I hit the internet.
Okay, so you hit the stage, you realized you didn't do that good, right? And then you started doing a lot of videos, right?
Well, that's not how it went. Okay, so I hit the stage first and I started like doing more open mics and performing at the Improv. Doing shows at schools. I got better as time passed. Okay. And then around like I think 2020, 2021, that's when I started doing videos because I was good at stand up, but at the same time it's like in order for me to get my name out there for people like y'all to know me. Wow. That's when I started doing the internet videos. Oh. So as time passed by, I started saying, you know what? Let me post 1 time a week. Okay, this is good. Let me post 2 times a week. Let me post 3 times a week. Let me post 4. And then I just started getting into a routine where I started posting like every day to the point where it's like, if I don't post in 2-3 days, like I'm itching. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I got into a routine where I started posting and I started seeing my analytics like, okay, they like these videos, but they don't like these videos. So let me get rid of these videos and start doing more of these. That's why I started getting, if you really go back like, I was like 2020, I was making skits, but it was like, it had nothing to do with nothing. It was just like random thoughts. But when I started doing the North Miami Kevin Samuel and the North Miami lawyer. Of course. Oh, okay, I see you, kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then that's when it started just going up like crazy. So I said, you know what? Let me get rid of these and let me stick to my North Miami roots because that's what the people like more.
Facts.
Yeah.
Is that similar to how you write jokes to go do stand up?
That's a good question, right? Well, I like this podcast. You know, a lot of times when I do podcasts, they ask me like weak questions, and you know, I get irritated fast. So, after I blew up, not to stray away from your question, but after like my name blew up, I was trying to incorporate what I did on the internet on the stage, but I already had like a skill set on stage already. But the fact that like in my mind, I'm like, okay, I Miami got jokes. You know what I'm saying? Like they rocking with what I did on the internet. Let me see if I can bring that on stage. And it started mentally messing with me.
Of course.
So I'm like, oh no, I gotta find a better way so I could incorporate that with what I had already. Cause I was trying to do the stop right there, homie, on stage. They were like, no, bro. It's not funny. You know so yeah, like it did kind of mess with me a little bit.
Of course.
But as time went on, like I started learning, okay, I could use this. I can't use this.
Got it.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
For the people who watches your stuff and who's not from our culture, what's a jouet?
The jouet is a game you play in life. You feel me? The jouet is a game you play in life, and it's sometimes you're gonna win, and sometimes you're gonna lose.
Got it.
That's what the jouet is.
Who is one of your favorite comedians? Let's say before you got on stage, did you have a favorite comedian?
Well, are we talking like locally or like just famous comedians that I used to look up to?
Yeah, any or either or.
Well, famous comedians I would look up to would be Chappelle.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I love how he tells his jokes. Like, he's just like a storyteller out there.
Got it.
You know, most of the comedians, when they get on stage, it's like, I gotta be funny now.
Of course.
Right? With him, it's like, okay, you're gonna listen to this story.
Of course.
Then I'll tell you the joke later.
I'll tell you the plot. He set it up.
You don't understand like how hard that, as a comedian, that's very hard, because once you don't hear nobody laugh for like 2-3 minutes, like you think you're doing bad. But with him, it's like, let me take you on this journey.
Right.
So Chappelle was one of them. I really like Dion Cole.
Dion Cole, okay.
Dion Cole is very funny to me. And locally, I grew up watching people like Fat and Funny.
Okay.
Plus, Success. Oh man, Success was like one of those like pioneers where it's like, bro, every day I would go to his page to see if he uploaded a video.
Right.
So those are some of the few guys where I grew up, you know, watching and try to like model my game after a little bit.
Some people would downplay as far as internet comedians. You have like the Z Banks, you have Country Wayne, just like you just mentioned, Success Junior, and they would downplay, say, hey, you know, these are internet comedians, they're not real comedians, because the real comedians, they will set up the jokes, they'll go on stage, they'll go on tours. What do you say about that?
There is some type of truth to that, because it's a way you tell a joke on the internet, and it's a way you tell a joke in real life, like live audience.
Right.
You know, more and more, you do see more and more internet comedians getting that shine on stage, but you can see like from a comedian standpoint, you can see where he kind of lacks in certain skills. Like a lot of new comedians now, they do more improv than actual storytelling or joke writing.
Got it.
You get what I'm saying? Like you'll see, if you pay attention, you'll see a lot of comedians do like, hey, where do you work? Or you guys together? Like set up jokes like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're not really good with the writing, as opposed to when you hear like more seasoned comedians, like they're telling you a story, or they're really joke telling.
Right. So
it's like there is a difference between like internet comedians and comedians who actually like really do this. But all in all, like at the end of the day, it's still comedy. If you funny, you funny. And if it works for you, it works for you.
Do you find the people around you support you, or is it be strangers that support you the most at what you do?
That's a good question. To be honest, you know, they say Miami is like a crab in a bucket, but for me personally, I've never experienced that. You know, I've never experienced like, oh, we're not gonna support Miami Got Jokes. Where like since from day one, like once I created them Kevin Samuel skits, whatever, like they've been rocking with me since day one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They come to the shows, they support me, they show love. Like, yeah, you get a few, like, you know, he's not that funny, whatever like that, but it's like people been really rocking with me to the point where I'm at work.
Right.
And people say, oh, you Miami Got Jokes, let me get a picture, let me get this and that. It's like sometimes it shocked me, because it's like, you know, in Miami, like people don't really,
of course,
you know, people don't really do that. So for me to see that, and for me to like really see like, yo, people really like appreciate the work that I do, it makes me want to keep going even more. So it's like, yeah, I really get that support.
When you're going on tour, or let's say when you're going on tour for the first time, how do you prep for the city or the town that you actually going to perform?
Well, the first time I went on tour was with Success, and it was in Tampa. And sometimes when you know it's like new people, like you really don't know like if it's your crowd or not, you have to really set your jokes a certain way where it's like, okay, this joke may not be for white people, but it's for everybody. This joke may not be for the Haitians, but this joke can relate to everybody.
Got it.
Right? So when you get that momentum, like, okay, these jokes are working, now you can slide a little Haitian joke here and there. Because now I could take you into my, now you guys know I'm funny. You guys acknowledge that I'm funny. Now let me take you into my world now. So it's like you have to prep, like you have to ease them in a little bit. You can't just straight out, okay, this what I'm going to give you, this is what you're going to take. You know what I mean?
Did you ever have someone steal one of your jokes? Or how would you feel if you found out somebody took your joke?
I've had people steal jokes from me. I've had people steal concepts from me from the internet. You know, I'm not gonna say no names.
Right, of course.
You know what I'm saying? But you see it, but at the end of the day, it's like the only thing you can do is adjust. You know, I'm not gonna call it. I'm not gonna, get mad or whatever like that. That's the name of the game.
But as a comedian, because I remember Dave Chappelle had he was talking about that. As far as someone just came in and you take your joke, I just feel so robbed. You just took something that belongs to me and you're not even giving me credit for it.
Right, especially especially on the internet, like if you see someone take a concept from you and it does more numbers than you.
Right.
You know, I had a video where it did like 90,000 views. And a woman took the same concept that I had, and she has like 3 million views. Oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Like sometimes, like the people who do that, it be like younger people than me. So it's like sometimes I let them have that because they're up and coming in the game. They don't know,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Because I was once that person where it's like I'm trying to copy someone's style, but what's the name? I think Razor.
Right.
Do you know what Razor is?
No.
Ah, man, he's a real old school comedian. He used to be on Comedy Def Jam. He pulled me to the side. He said, "Bro, I see you want to do like Corey Holcomb style jokes.
Okay.
But do you live that Corey Holcomb style life?" So I had to think about it. I was like, all right, you know what? Yeah,
he's right.
So I had to remodel my game and stuff like that. So it's like, it's mostly young people who do it. So sometimes you got to give them a little grace or whatever like that. Hopefully when they get older, they'll learn like, okay, I can't keep going like this. I got to figure out my own way.
So what's one of the challenges that you face now as a comedian?
Being consistently funny. Because sometimes like I'm very hard on myself, like trying to be consistently funny, trying to consistently articulate the words that are coming out my mouth, like trying to improve the quality of the videos, trying to be as unpredictable as possible. I don't want to get too predictable. As you know, like I blew up off of Stop Right There on Me.
Of course.
But I stopped saying that years ago.
Of course.
You get what I'm saying? Because that's not really something I say on the regular. So I'm trying to be more as authentic as possible.
Rick, take us back a little bit as far as to your childhood and who is this person that we're seeing now today?
Someone who understands how to take a loss and turn it into a lesson. Growing up, I really have, I don't know my dad, right? So I just know my mother been everything for me.
Wow.
My mother been my dad, my mother been my brother, my mother been my sister, everything. Like anything I needed, she's always been there. But like our relationship has been rocky as hell. So, growing up and understanding like this is where I came from, it makes me appreciate life more. It makes me have a better understanding like, bro, sometimes like you're not gonna always get what you want, but as long as you work for what you want, you'll get there. Like you'll have it. Sometimes like we take, as a kid, like when I was a kid, I used to take a lot of stuff for granted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I used to take a lot of things for granted and not appreciate as much of the stuff that my mom used to do for me. Cause I was young, I ain't know. But now that I'm older, it's like I see it for what it is now. So I don't take nothing for granted. I don't take, you know what I'm saying? I don't take advantage of anything. Like I just take it for what it is, and I appreciate everything I have and everything that I expect in the future for me.
Right.
Yeah.
So today, with all the success that you have, if you could talk back to your younger self, what would you say to yourself?
I would tell my younger self, prepare better. I feel like I wasted a lot of time when I was young. And if I can turn back the hands of time, I'd prepare myself better. School, work, just my lifestyle, like, my relationship with my mother, like, just take more things into perspective and stop just trying to like live by the, like grab life by the horns.
Right. Just
preparation is my main thing. I feel like if I would have prepped better, I'd have, really understand where I'm at today. Yeah.
When it's all said and done, right? Because I see you at the high school, I see you doing your thing, and then I see you, because the comedy world you're going into is very hard.
Yeah.
Right? When it's all said and done, how do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as not just a comedian, but as someone from North Miami who was able to be a figure, because a lot of times, like being in North Miami, we have a lot of kids that look up to, scammers and drug dealers and whatnot. But it's like, there's other ways out too. You can graduate, you can be a cop. If you want to be a comedian, you don't have to be like, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to be that
right.
negative, you know what I'm saying? Like that, you don't have to involve yourself and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, people dying every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So let's find ways to uplift North Miami. I love North Miami. I grew up here, went to school here, all that. I walk up and down the street. Everybody know me from 6th Ave.
Of course.
So it's like, I just want people to remember me as a person like who found an alternative way out instead of taking the regular way that everybody wants to take.
Rick, as far as a comedian, being able to book the Improv, how was that process?
Jesus Christ. When I shot my first comedy special, which was last year, man, I was on the waiting list for like a year.
Wow.
Yeah, because, they kind of felt like, okay, if we give it Improv, like, can you bring people out? And, I had to keep proving myself. I had to keep coming to the Improv, putting on and, putting on good performances and stacking those days and showing people like, hey, when I perform here, this is how many people show up for me. So finally they gave me the Improv and we did, I think it was 89% or 90% the attendance rate.
Dope.
Yeah. So and that was my first one. So yeah, getting on you gonna have to get on the waiting list for sure.
What's the next step for you in the next 5 years?
Well, I'm trying to put together my comedy special next year, and then moving forward, I do want to go on tour, a small Florida tour first, and then probably just like, just short films. Okay. Just short films. I really want to get into more talking about sports and, get my sports show going on. I'm working out with my cameraman now. My Trash Can Sports. So, I definitely want to do more sports shows and, really get my comedy special going. So, yeah, that's what I got going right now. That's what I want to do.
Rick, are you dating?
I've tried dating. It kind of gets difficult at times because I'm so busy with work. I work 2 jobs. When I get off my job, I gotta shoot videos. If I don't have videos to do, I gotta do a show here. It's a lot. So like sometimes, like when I'm dating someone, I don't have time for, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Women, like, they want to go out on dates, time and money and stuff like that. So it's like, right now I'm chilling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there are people who are like, I'm considering right now, but right now I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying?
The reason I'm asking is for, do you one day eventually want to have your own family?
No, I definitely do. I definitely want to have my own family. I definitely want to have kids, for sure. I don't have kids right now, but I definitely want to have a family, for sure.
So what would an ideal family look like for you with the comedy? Are you planning on stepping down from it or still growing with the family?
So here's my plan, right? Here's my plan. So I do want to continue comedy, but if comedy don't works out, I have definitely been looking into like doing border patrol.
Okay.
I don't want to have too many kids, probably like 1 or 2 kids, a dog. You know what I mean? I love dogs, so I gotta have me a dog. But yeah, I do want to keep pursuing comedy with the family. I think comedy get a little bit easier when I have a family, but yeah, that's my plan there. Yeah.
How did you end up in Haiti? Because you said you were born here and end up in school in Haiti.
Bruh. Okay, so here's what happened. It was around 2004, and I was bad, bro. Like I told you, when I was young, bro, I was just moving all type of. I was doing just whatever, bro. And then my mom told me, it's like, listen, ma voy Haiti, oui.
Right.
Ou fait bail ça encore, ma voy Haiti. So I was like, man, you ain't gonna do that for real. So I forgot what I did. I did one last thing where the cops came. I think I prank called the cops.
Oh boy.
I prank called the cops, and my mom had to leave from her job to come to the house, and the cops was there. So she was like, you know what? That's it. So I think it was like that following week, they was like getting my passport ready and everything. So I'm like, as a kid, I don't know what that is. We at the airport, I'm taking a picture for my for the passport, getting my documents ready, whatever like that. And then that weekend, I see I'm on a plane, and I was like, yo, you really going to Haiti?
Sheesh.
You really going to Haiti? So in my mind, I'm thinking I'm going to Haiti for like a week or whatever like that. Bro, I was there for like 3 years.
What?
3 years. Yeah, I went to New American School. You know who I went to the same school with?
Who?
Zoe Dollars.
Oh, wow.
Me and Zoe Dollars went to the same school in Haiti. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, he'll tell you. Me and Zoe Dollars went to the same school in Haiti, bro. It's called New American School, NAS.
Where is that at?
Shoot, I can't remember. It's like, the school called Canada?
No.
You know Canada?
Yes.
It's like right down the street from that school. Bro.
So basically in Port-au-Prince.
Yeah. It's in Port-au-Prince. Yeah, Port-au-Prince.
How was your experience there in Haiti?
Man, it's like...
Culture shocking?
It's definitely, it's night and day, bro. It's night and day. Like, you don't always have power. Well, where I was, you don't always have power. Bro, dude, you have to buy ice, bro. Like, it was too much. We had to walk. Like, going to school, it would take like an hour to get there on foot. You know what I'm saying? If we didn't have money, like I think Sango Zigud to take the camionette, we had to walk.
Right.
And a lot of times they wanted to save money, so we had to walk there. The schools are strict with the uniform.
Yeah.
You like only cursive. You can't write and print it. Like,
of course.
Only cursive.
You can still write cursive?
Hell no, bro. As soon as I got to America, I was like, man. The food is good though.
Of course.
The food is very authentic, bro. Like, one thing I can say about Haiti, we ate 3 times a day. 100% we ate 3 times a day. Now in America, you don't do that, bro. But yeah, bro. And the reason why, the one thing that made my parents like say, you know what, bring him back, is during that time, our president was John Bertrand Aristide, and they were going through this like thing where it's like they were just killing people. So my mom was like, you know what? Haiti's too hot right now. Get them on the plane. Get them out of here. But throughout that whole, I was there for like 2-3 years, man. It was crazy, bro. I went to school that long, bro. It was crazy, bro. It's definitely a culture shock.
It sounds like your mom is a loving woman and she's very strict, right?
No, 100% strict. Yeah,
very, very strict.
Yeah.
Where does she stand with your career as a comedian?
She didn't. At first, she didn't really care. Like, she don't care now, but it's like she is. How should I say? She asked about it from time to time. She came to a few shows to see, like, okay, I see you doing this. Just take it serious. Okay. You know what I mean? But it's not something like she's rooting for me or whatever. Like, she's like, all right, cool. I feel bad, black. Whatever. All right. But she just wants me, like, she just tells me, like, if you're gonna do this, take it serious. You know what I'm saying? And I take her word for it.
Do you think coming back here gave you a different perspective when you came back from Haiti?
Man, I was back on my butt. But yeah, it really changed my. Not that I say I got I became a better person, because after a year I just started doing bad stuff again. But it did really change my perspective on like how things are back there in Haiti and how thankful we are to have things in America.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like jobs, like. That's the one thing. It's like at age of 14, 15 in America, a kid can actually work a job. In Haiti, you can't.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So little things like that, yeah, definitely changed my perspective.
What do you think is going on in the dating world right now?
The internet just messing everything up, bro. The internet just creating like a delusion, division, and just like destroying like people's like reality from like actual relationships, bro. And it's been going on for too long, but it's like, what can you do? This is what we watching. You know what I'm saying? This is what we watching. Like it's so many takes I have in my brain, bro. It's just, I don't know, bro.
What's one of the takes you have?
One of my takes is I don't believe in gender roles. You know what I'm saying? Like if you really love each other, bro, it's like it doesn't matter who does what. Okay. Right? Because it's like, I love you. When I genuinely love you, it doesn't matter what needs to be done, I'm gonna get it. Like, one in general, men should always take out the trash. Like, bro, it's not that much of a brain twister for if a woman takes out the trash and the world is gonna end. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
Be honest, bro. Like, do you think your relationship will end if your girl take out the trash?
I can't say that, yo.
So, if you don't think gender roles work, right? Because men are thought to protect and provide.
Where do we get that from?
I'm asking.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's one of the gender roles that's been established in our culture.
Right.
Right. So we are thought to provide and protect.
Okay.
So would you be the type of guy that you want your woman to provide and protect for?
Yeah, sure. No, why is that funny though? But let's have a serious conversation. Why is that funny though? You know what I'm saying? Like if your woman can't, like, okay, if she is not able to, that's fine, right? But why do we have women who work like you're police, right? Right. Do you have women who work in your field?
Of course.
Why?
Because they love the profession. It's a profession.
So they know how to protect.
Yeah, but a lot of those women, they also want to be protected. When they working, it's a job.
Right.
But when they're at home, they want to feel protected. Protected, not just physically protected, but we're talking about as far as assets. We're talking about in a relationship. We're talking about
Emotional protection.
Right.
So you're talking about everything else.
Right. Okay. And I understand that. Right. But if let's talk about physical protection. Right. Right? Now listen to this. Right. Let's say you sell ice cream. Right. All you know is ice cream. Right. But you date a woman who is a cop, who's physically trained to handle a firearm.
Right.
Right? So listen to me. Chill, bro. Chill, you laughing. Right? Right? So you and your woman is upstairs, right? And something's going on downstairs, right? So you hear something going on downstairs. Who should go downstairs first? Is the ice cream dude? The ice cream man?
Hey, you might need to negotiate.
Because if the ice cream man go downstairs, they both dead. But you know what I'm saying? But if the woman who's physically trained to handle a firearm goes down there.
Actually, you're dead. She's going to always protect herself up there.
You'll get screamed at later because you made her go downstairs, but it's like, it just makes sense. You know what I'm saying? If you are capable of doing it, why not?
So what about 50-50? How do you, when they talk about the 50-50?
Okay, so the thing with 50-50, I think it makes sense because if you are working toward goals to create financial freedom for the both of you guys, it shouldn't be a problem. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, women go into relationship with the expectation of like, I shouldn't have to pay for anything, or I should just take care of the little bills, right? Without saying like, okay, how much money do you make? Okay, you make X, Y, and Z every 2 weeks, right? This is how much I make every 2 weeks. Okay, if you are able to take care of this, I'll take care of this. Instead of just saying, oh no, I'm not gonna do 50-50, or oh no, you're the man, right? You're gonna take that paycheck and choke it out, you know what I'm saying? Every 2 weeks, while I hold my money for fake rainy days. You get what I'm saying? Like, it should be to a point where it's like, if you are capable of doing it, why not? And a lot of times, bro, like, and I understand, like, you want to be the man, you want to be the leader and the head of the household, these fake titles or whatever like that. But you have to understand, that's why a lot of guys' mental health be disintegrated, because, damn, like, how do I tell my woman, like, yeah, I want to be the man, but it's like, I need a little help too. You know, how do I tell my woman, like, okay, this how much money I make, but if you pitch in, like, it'll alleviate some of the, you know what I'm saying? Right. The stress. It's not that, it don't make you less of a man, bro. It make you more of a man that you could communicate that to her. But a lot of men be in a relationship where it's like, now you gotta, instead of working just a regular 40 hours, now you gotta work 20 extra hours every week just to meet that expectation. Instead of saying, you know what, babe, you work these amount of hours, I work these amount of hours, this is how we're gonna cut it up. It's all about communication. It's a lack of communication in these relationships.
So you don't have a problem if your woman is the breadwinner?
I don't care, bro. I don't care.
But you don't think respect flies out the window?
One thing you have to understand, if your woman disrespects you because she makes more money than you, then she's not a good woman. She's not a good woman. If you feel like you are the head of the household as a man because you make more money than your woman, you're not a good dude. that shouldn't determine, bro. Like, and that's a problem. We've strayed away from being good, intentional people, bro. You know what I'm saying? You letting the money and the material get in your head. Like, yeah, yo, don't get me wrong. As a man, you making good money. Yeah, it's gonna make you feel good, but it's like that shouldn't matter in your relationship, bro. I make good enough money to take care of my family, take care of whatever I need. My girl make good enough money, or my girl take care of me emotionally, whatever like that. You know, take care of my kids. You know what I'm saying? It's however you guys put it together, but don't think like, well, I make more money with my girl. Well, yeah, I'm the head of the household. Or your woman think like, oh, well, I make more money than this dude. He's bisexual. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't let women disrespect you because she makes more money than you. That's not good people, bro. That's not good people.
So how do you think a man earns respect from a woman?
By showing her that he cares, he's reliable, you know what I'm saying, can make decisions, like, you know, he's able to communicate. Those are traits of a good person. You know what I'm saying? We have to show traits. You can lack in this, but you are great in this. You know what I'm saying? Maybe in the podcast, you know how to lead the podcast, but he comes up with some great topics.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes you guys a good team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how relationships should be. It's not just, well, you make good money, but you're short. Now you're a terrible man. And that's what women are prone to do in today's relationships, bro. They don't look at good traits.
Do you think the ice cream man, if he didn't protect her,
Ice cream man getting cheated on?
do you think the ice cream man would gain the respect if he didn't protect her at that time?
I'll say this, right? Even though you're not, how should I say this? Even though you are not able to do it, but the fact that you show effort in trying to, I think a woman should respect that.
So you're saying the ice cream man should like at least
try.
Open the door and say go downstairs.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, babe, I know you can shoot, but you know what I'm saying? I got your back if something happens. You know what I'm saying? And that's what teamwork look like.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all it is, bro. Like, look, I got your back. Whatever you do, I got your back.
So then in that case, how do you explain yourself that, all right, you sent your woman out to downstairs and she didn't make it back?
Who am I explaining myself to? That's what you gotta understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause as long as my woman happy, I ain't gotta tell you nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that's another aspect of the relationship too. It's like, well, you know what? Let me not say that, because one thing that I experienced in my last relationship that I feel like is very important is like, you gotta have a good supporting cast around you.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And in my last relationship, I kind of ignored that. So it's like, yeah, sometimes like you do want to let people know, like, okay, I like my relationship. So whatever you feel, however you feel about my relationship is whatever on you. But it's like sometimes you do have to have that support. But people have to understand, like, well, if you're in love and you're in love, I gotta respect that. Why is this man laughing, bro? Go ahead, done. I'm saying some real stuff here. You know what I'm saying? Am I making sense or no?
Yeah, you make it 100% sense, right?
But yeah. This man, what?
But it's ice cream, man.
Yeah, I see this guy. You okay, bro? Let's just talk.
That man said you ain't got nobody to explain himself to. That person
Oh man, that was good, man. That was good, man.
What's another controversial thing you think topic that you think society would look at different if you were to openly say it?
Oh, I don't know, man. I'm trying to keep it PG, bro. I don't want to take me personally, I don't believe in like mega churches, bro.
Elaborate on that.
Like, I feel like as far as like, why do churches have to be like, I'm trying to be as
right.
Let me see. I don't believe that churches should, like, pastors should be that rich, right? if we are going to lead with the word of God, let's lead. And I'm not a Christian, right? I'm gonna just put that out there right now, right? I'm not a Christian. But if we are going to lead with the word of God, lead with the word of God, right? If we are going to be the helping hand, be the helping hand. Why is my pastor, right, driving a 2026 Ferrari, has a private jet, right? And I have people in my audience that are struggling to pay their bills, don't have a home don't have a home to lay in, don't have food to eat. And this is things like that has happened before, right? If you are a pastor making that money, you should be able to help the people in your audience, the people that are coming to your church weekly, supporting you, putting this money in your pocket. I do not believe that type of money should be put in a church where it's a mega church. You got DJ, you got this, and you got that. Like, it should be a small church preaching the word of God. Simple as that. As a pastor, and this is my belief too. I might be wrong, right? But I don't believe a pastor, because it shows like materialism. Like you're too much into the flesh. You get what I'm saying? Okay. Now I'm not gonna say the church, but it looks too much like you're trying to fit in the world instead of separating yourself. Like you see, like I don't like Christian rappers, right? I don't agree with it. I think Christian music should be hymnal music, songs. Why are you trying to? A lot of times, if you look on TikTok, the Christian rap sounds like a little bit. You're trying to make it too much like a Kodak beat. Why are you not trying to separate yourself from that? Trying to come up with Christian clubs. Why are you not trying to separate yourself from that? Right. You get what I'm saying? Right. The whole point of Christianity is to separate yourself from flesh. So it's like if my pastor is has a little Gucci suit or this and that, it's like it feels like you're trying to be more in the flesh instead of separating yourself. Because it's like you lead by, if I see my pastor with all this, driving a nice car, whatever like that. And don't get me wrong, you could be successful, but it has to look a certain way.
In that case, speaking from your perspective and also as a comedian, what is your take on Juicy's skit?
Oh, it's 100% spot on. 100% spot on.
Why you say that?
Because a lot of times it just those mega churches becomes more performative than actually teaching you something.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It's all it just looks like it's all about money.
But the reason why I'm asking, because you mentioned that you're not a Christian.
Right, yes.
Do you practice a different religion or are you just not a Christian, period?
No, I'm just not a Christian, period.
But you've been to church before.
Yeah, I've been to church. Oh, yeah. I've been to church, Jen, retreat, Camp Ithio, with like when I was young. I've sang in the church, I've danced in the church, all that.
Oh, you were raised Christian?
Oh, yeah, I was raised Christian, all that.
Okay, so you're no longer a Christian?
Yeah.
All right. So the reason I'm asking, because one would say, hey, then why are you giving your opinion about something that you're not a part of?
Who says I can't give my opinion?
Of course, but that's what a lot of people will say. Hey, you're not a Christian. Why are you giving your opinion about something that you're not a part of?
Because I've been a part of it.
Okay.
I've been in that realm. I've seen what it looked like.
I understand.
And for me, the reason why I am not a Christian, because it doesn't grab my attention the way it used to. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you ever watch a football game and you like, oh man, I hope this guy scored 20 points, and oh damn, I hope this guy make a tackle. I hope he catch an interception. Like, you're so locked into it, you want to understand it more. And I've lost that feeling when I sit in church. And I feel like a lot of people do, but they don't want to admit it. That's why you get the people who sit in the church, sit in the back, playing around or whatever like that. It's like, for me, it's like, I've gotten to the point where it's like, if I'm going to play with Jesus' name, let me do it outside of church, not in the church.
Of course.
Now I feel like I'm violating.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And I believe in that so much. It's like, if you're not going to take Jesus serious, get out of his house. Just get out. Let's save that seat for someone who actually want to be saved, who actually want to understand the word, because you're taking up space. And I feel like a lot of people go through that, and we're just going to church to say, hey, I did my 30 minutes at the church. Oh, now I'm saved. Let me go sin for the next 8 hours.
And one of the things that you mentioned, and a lot of Christians may believe that's a myopic view, which is pastors shouldn't be that rich, right? So I'm gonna ask this question. If someone before they became a pastor, before they became ordained to be a pastor, say that they already had bestseller books, or they already had a career where they had X amount of wealth, then they became ordained, God called them to be a pastor. Should they give up all their wealth? Is that what you're saying? Or they can no longer have wealth?
That's a good question, bro. It depends, man. Like, you see wealthy people, wealthy people is like, you have, how do I answer this question? Okay, so you have like a J. Cole, then you got a Rick Ross.
Okay.
Right? Both of them are very wealthy, very well off, right? J. Cole is all about his music, right? He loves the music. He has a passion for it. Rick Ross is all about looking flashy. You know what I'm saying? Money, flashy, cars, women, liquor, all that. If I'm going to have a pastor, I want my pastor to really have a passion for this, a passion to preach the word, a knowledge to really tell me like, hey, this is the word, this is how, you know what I'm saying? This is how you should be, this is the line you should walk through. I don't want my pastor to be looking like, you know what I'm saying, like a celebrity from BET Awards. It's like, the look means everything because that sets the example.
But you don't think that places Christians in a box? Because earlier you mentioned as far as, hey, they have to be traditional, right? Yes. They have to do hymns. They can't do hip hop or try to do rap or do anything different, right?
Right. 100%.
In some culture, they play upbeat music and different things. And now we're talking about money, right? Because the set of pastors, some pastors that you have, they have the masters, they have their PhD, right? Some of them have the money, right? But that doesn't mean they don't have a love for the flock, but they're perceived to be that way. And also there's pastors that are taking advantage of it, right? But now you do think that church Christianity should be placed in a box. If it's not in that box, then it's not legit.
Yes. Because I'm going to tell you why. Because you guys should be placed in a box because you have to accept, like Jewish people, right? They have one way, right? You don't see Jewish rappers out there. If they claim they're not Jewish, right? Jewish rappers have, okay, this is what you should wear. This is how you should praise our God. Mm-hmm. This is how you should, you know what I'm saying? You at this age, this is what you have to learn. You have to know the Bible. It's like, it should be like that with Christianity. Go ahead.
So I was about to say then, can Christians be rich?
Christians can be rich, yes. They can be wealthy. But again, I have to, like, I'm not gonna lie. This question I'm kind of stuck on. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Because guess what, right?
Yeah.
So if my God is great, right? And he's the father that creates everything, right? I'm his son. We are his kids, right? And we work, he inspires us. We have the mindset to build. Shouldn't we be able to reflect that at some point?
Yes. But you have to, you know what? The word is you have to carry yourself a certain way.
Of course.
That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
You have to carry yourself a certain way, right? It just can't look like, you can't look like a dope dealer. You know what I'm saying? Like having the, like you have to look, if you're going to look like a Christian, look like a Christian, like suit, tie, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Look professional, Christian wise, and set the example.
Clean and simple.
Exactly.
Got it.
The problem is a lot of these new age Christians are trying to get close. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. A lot of times, like the after church with when they have the kids like learn the Bible, whatever like that, they're trying to do too much of where it's like, if this kid can't pay attention, let's create a Christian rap so they can learn the Bible. No, you have to understand the Bible for what it is now. Well, I shouldn't have to, because other religions don't do that. They're very strict on how they teach the word.
That I'll agree with.
You get what I'm saying? Right. Why do I have to adjust the word so you can learn it? That means your mind is not where it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, it has to look a certain way. Carry yourself a certain way. Don't adjust because this person choose not to learn it like this.
Got it.
You get what I'm saying? Because when you get to heaven, there ain't gonna be no boombox. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. I don't know if I'm making sense, but it's just like
it's your perception.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Now that you work in corporate America.
Yeah.
And then you are an entrepreneur because you actually your own brand. You create your own brand. And also you attended schools in 2 different countries, right?
Yeah.
So what in your mind that you learn now that you were not taught in school, that you wish, because the reason I'm saying is because do you believe at some point we were programmed to remain in a box? Because now that you are entrepreneur, you are an entrepreneur. Not only that you actually work in corporate America, you see America for what it is.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's something they could have taught us in school to better prepare us for that life?
Yeah, there's I feel like school should have like had like some type of entrepreneurship class where it's like could prepare you, like if you want to own your own business or if you want to take your own path, here are the steps to the same way we should have financial classes. I don't know if we have now. I haven't been to school in so long.
Right.
Yeah, you know, things like to prepare you in the real world where it's like if you're not going to take the college route, right? Here's the steps that you should know. So once you get out there, okay, you know how to handle yourself, right? So yeah, I and seeing how school prepared, like how you're prepared in school in Haiti, you're prepared in school in the United States, it's much stricter in Haiti.
Of course.
They teach you how to behave, act, you know what I mean? And they beat you over there.
Of course.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like there's real consequences, like physical consequences. So from the way I see in Haiti, they're much more in line than in here. You know, in public schools, they just do whatever.
Imagine with me, let's walk through this process, right?
Yeah.
You get the opportunity to open up for Dave Chappelle. Big night, we at the Miami Arena. You have a specific joke you would open with that night, or how would you get prepared for it?
Do I have a specific joke? I don't know. I have to think, man. Open up for Dave Chappelle, I'd be nervous as hell, man, because I know that's a big crowd.
It is.
You know, all eyes on, especially it's like, oh man, I wouldn't know what joke to open up with because it's like it's so many in my head. But I'll try to be like, knowing how Chappelle tells his jokes, I'll give like a complete different, you know, style of joke telling. So that way they could get like 2 different, you know what I'm saying, two different type of comedy styles. That's for right now. That's not like how I would be thinking. You know, like Chappelle's like that storytelling type of thing. I'd give him like straight like jokes. He'd be funny like laid back jokes. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's how I would think. Like from my perspective.
You said something earlier. You said that you don't know, you know, because opening up is big crowd for Dave Chappelle, right?
Yeah.
Do you still get stage fright?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. And it's like the more known you are, the more nervous it makes you because the expectation that they put on you. Mm-hmm. Oh, Miami got, like before it's like, Miami got jokes on stage. Okay, I don't care. But now it's like Miami got jokes on stage and I heard you was funny. Okay, I see.
So make me laugh.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people are like, oh, I see you on Instagram. Let me see if you're funny in real life. Mm-hmm. All right, let me see if you really, and it's like you have to stacking up those good shows because once you have a bad show, oh man, it's like it sticks with you for like forever.
I think that's the same thing as a speaker. Would you consider a comedian as a speaker?
You know, it's crazy. It's crazy that you brought that up because, you know, when I have downtime, I watch like public speaking videos.
Yes.
Because like it trains me. Because a lot of times, like in between like my jokes, like when I don't know what to say in my fillers, I'll say like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I've been watching a lot of those videos where it's like, okay, if you feel like you're gonna say this, do this. All right. Make sure you drink water in between your jokes.
Wow.
Pause.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh man, you just open a different.
No, like listen, I'll be doing my homework.
Here's why I said that. Now it makes sense because I went to watch Eddie Griffin. Eddie Griffin is funny. It's very funny. But in between, they would have a bottle of water there and they would have like drinks there. And it never hit me why in between they'll be sipping and they'll be drinking. And I think at some point, it's not only it resets.
That's the word right there. That's the word right there. Reset. That's the word. Go ahead.
Wow. So it resets, and then they are able to come back and still use that momentum to build the silence for the next joke.
Exactly, bro. That's why you do it, because one, you got to drink water because you're getting cotton mouth. Two, it gives you time to rest, think of the next joke. It gives you time to think of the next joke. And then three, it gives everybody time like to get all their laughs out.
Oh, wow.
You get what I'm saying?
So it's almost like a transition period.
Yes. So you have to, when you're on stage, them seconds count. Them like 5 to 6 or 7 seconds pause. Like if you, now when I'm doing like my jokes and you see me like put my head down or like it's like I'm thinking, I'm relaxed, I'm letting the crowd, have their laughs die down. Then I get back into my set. Those are.
How do you feel about comedians who basically throw jokes at the crowd, who looks at the crowd and pick at the crowd? Because a lot of people think, oh, they're not funny. They're looking for things in the audience to talk about. Is that somewhere they go when they lose where they at and they just use that?
Yeah. It does that is reason why a lot of people do that.
Right.
Some people are good at it, but that's one of the reasons why people do that. Because sometimes like you may be up on stage and you might forget your material a little bit. So you're like, you know what? Let me pick on this guy. He don't got no hair. Oh, me and you got ball. We might be twins. Whatever. Like, and the crowd go crazy because when you are doing that, the fact that it's so relatable in that moment,
right?
The crowd will eat it up. So now, okay, now I'm gonna just rock off that momentum. Oh, right. Okay, but you know what? Oh, my joke came back into my head. No, let me get back into my set.
So when as a comedian, when you write down your materials, is it like a book that you write and then you memorize it and then you go on stage and you speak? How does that work?
I keep it in my notes. So one thing that Ridiculous taught me, one thing, his name is Ridiculous Nick, and he taught me a skill where he'll take like 2 things and then he'll put it in his notes and later he'll try to like make it like go together like the Panther and that tennis ball right there. Okay, so I got Panther and tennis ball. Okay, so what is funny between a Panther and a tennis ball? Right? And then you'll take time to try to make a connect and okay, make this line, how can I relate a Panther to a tennis ball? It's a certain math to it where it's like, now I got the joke. I'm gonna say this joke on stage. And if they're rocking with it, right? As I'm taking my set, as I'm about to end my set, I'll come back to this joke. And now, okay, they like it. So it's so much to it where it's like you're writing a joke. And sometimes like people like curveball jokes. People like simple jokes like, oh, this guy look at this blue shirt wearing, you know what I'm saying? And that just make a crowd go crazy. So it comes a lot with like just writing jokes, man, and just watching other people, watching other comedians, see how he delivers a joke. How you deliver a joke is fine. How you look when you're delivering a joke.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Certain styles like where let me see how I can explain it. There's comedians where they have certain styles where they look confused, where you think like he don't know what he's saying, but that's his style. His style is looking confused while he's telling a joke because it makes it look more funny.
Right.
Or there's certain comedians where they're telling a joke, but they have a serious face. Or like Fat and Funny, he'll tell a joke and he'll laugh with the joke. That's one of the styles that I like. You know, I took that and incorporated that in my game where it's like, okay, if I'm telling a joke, I'm gonna laugh with the joke so they could feel like, okay, he's confident in his joke. Let me laugh with him.
Right.
You know, so there's certain styles that I do. There's certain joke writings that it's so much homework that I do when I'm on stage. So I really take this craft very serious.
Yeah, it's a craft.
Oh,
it's an art form.
You gotta respect it too, for sure.
How far do you want to be in the comedian world?
Far enough where like I'm getting bookings where it's like I'm well off. You know, I don't care to be like the Kevin Harts, and a lot of people get on here but like, I want to be Kevin Hart or whatever. Like, I just want to be a comedian where it's like I know I can travel and make good money and be able to really, you know, be good at what I do. You know,
so pretty much living off your purpose.
Right. If I can do that, I'm good.
What advice would you give to a young comedian who's probably in his apartment, have the same goal and the same dreams? Hey, I want to be famous. Oh, I want my jokes to get out there. I want to be a comedian. What advice would you give to them from where you're standing at today?
It's only one thing only. Just you got to be authentic. Got to be authentic. Like, don't try to be someone that you're not. You know what I mean? Give them people, like, let them people come into your life. Because it's so many things you can say. It's so many things you can say on there where it's like you can relate, where they can relate to you.
Right.
You know, people love relatable comedy. You know what I mean? So just be yourself, be consistent, and just really respect the craft.
Miami Got Jokes, I want to thank you on behalf of Jules Legacy Enterprise Productions for this great interview and coming out here to talk to us.
I appreciate y'all for having me, for sure, man.
A lot of the time, people don't get honored in the stuff that they do, right? And we don't wait till the person is no longer here to say, hey, let's give them the flowers. I've been watching you for the past 5 years.
Appreciate that.
Not only I think you're very funny, but you're very consistent at what you do. So on behalf of Jules Legacy Enterprise Production, we wanted to give you a small token of appreciation.
Oh, that's for me.
I wanted to give you a small token of appreciation. And my older brother Job is going to read it.
Presented to Rick E. Miami Got Jokes, North Miami Senior High School alumnus. In recognition of your impact as a cultural voice and entertainer who proudly represents Miami with authenticity and humor. As a North Miami Senior High School alumnus, you embody the power of legacy, creativity, and community influence, using laughter to connect generations and uplift our city. This is presented to you by Jules Legacy Enterprise Production Team.
Nah, that's dope. What? It's like just a man. What? Wow, man.
Thank you.
That's big, man. I appreciate that, man. For sure.
And at this time, we would like to thank all of our continuous sponsors, AZ Formal Wear, Gourmet Gathering, Chick-fil-A Miami Shores, and Comprehensive Health Center. And most importantly, we want to thank you, the Alumni Association, and all our viewers. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time.